As we speak right now, there is a sense of somehow superiority or something, I guess, on the part of many Republicans, many of the Fox News crew, people who think that somehow by virtue of something they are doing just so well. They are doing monumentally great. That Trump is on his way. That everything's collapsing from Fannie Willis to you name it. And people believe this. People are believing that somehow that Trump is on his way. And this. Okay, this is the most dangerous thing you can possibly believe in. If you think they're going to plan nothing, if you think you can sit back and revel in this sense of we're going to do it this time, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. Now I know that that's bad news, but as you know, one of the things that I've always tried to do is to tell you from the beginning, specifically from the beginning, what it is that's important and what it is that's critical. I can't say this enough. I can't say this enough. It is absolutely critical that you get really scared now because they're changing their tune. And do you see how everybody has been given the memo? Everybody is to use the idea that this Department of Justice report somehow is the reason why it's Biden's age, not his mental decrepitude. It's his age. Okay, do you understand that? I was watching a piece recently by this psychologist named Gabor Mate. This is Aaron Mate's father. He's 80. Alan Dershowitz, 85. I mean, I give you example after example of this. This has nothing to do with age. The reason why they're doing this, very calculated, age, and that's why, and this is why you have to have social media so you can spread this. What you have to remind people of is it's not age. It's not age. It's mental decrepitude. That is what this is about. It's about mental decrepitude. It is not about age. Don't let them do this. I'm telling you repeatedly, for the love of God, we are at 266 days away from the election. 266 days from the election. This is critical. And we have to make sure, and you have to make sure that you have to be an apostle for truth. This is one of the beefs that I have with a lot of my friends. They just sit back and they don't do anything. They just expect, I guess, the news to get out because they're reading whatever, or probably watching because they don't read anything. They figure, well, that's good enough. I know this. No, it's not for you to know this. It's for you to explain what's going on. Because remember, no matter what you think, people still despise Donald Trump. What do? How do you get around that? How do you remind them that, and there are people who still say that he was somehow responsible for this attempt to destroy, to subvert, to collapse the system as we know it. Do you hear what I'm saying? I'm telling you this. I'm repeating this. I'm reminding you of this. I'm telling you. What are we going to do regarding this? How do we explain this to people? That's what's critical. My friends, please like this video. It is so important. I can't say this enough to you. You have to like these videos. So critically, monumentally important. You must like them. And you must subscribe. And in addition, you must listen to the words of our great sponsor. Let me ask you a question. Have you taken a good look at the banks lately? You know, on the surface, everything seems fine, but there's a whole lot more going on underneath. It's like looking under the hood of a car and finding a mess of broken wires and parts. And the parts are loans for homes and cars and those credit cards we all use. And they're hitting record highs. It's most frightening when you think about it. Why risk your money for a tiny 5% return when things are so shaky? This is where noble gold investments can help. They're like that friend who knows all about keeping money safe. They suggest gold and silver, oldies but goodies in the financial world. Plus, they've got a sweet deal. A free quarter-ounce gold standard gold coin this month if you qualify. Pretty cool, right? You better believe it. Now, if you're curious, just give them a call at 877-646-5347. It's just a chat. There's no pressure. They'll help you figure out if gold and silver are right for you. Or visit LionelNationGold.com and take the first step towards a safer financial future. LionelNationGold.com. And remember, there's always a risk of investment and there's no guarantee of any kind. Indeed, my friend. Now, let's speak about something. And I want you to grasp a way of looking at this which will help you tremendously. And it's how you view things. And it's very difficult for people to follow this, but I'm going to do my best. John Mearsheimer and others are of the school called realists. These are people who are there's no good guy, bad guy. They just talk about the way things are, whether it's Israel or Palestine or Ukraine or whatever. It's about the realities. And we have some very simple rules that we have to maintain here and that you must understand if you agree with my particular philosophy, which I think you will because it makes implicit sense. Number one, and this is critical. Number one, I don't care about good guys and bad guys. I don't care about what's moral. I don't care about what's the right thing to do if it's politically impossible or foolish. I believe that it would be wonderful to have certain social safety nets guaranteed for certain people, but I don't know how we can do this. I think as a perfect, if there was some way to snap our fingers to say, it'd be really nice if we had such a, can't do it. So what I think is right and what can be done is a different story. Okay. It's that simple. It would be wonderful to go out in the world and be able to stop maybe certain despotic leaders and the like, provided we had the will, the manpower and the money, and provided we had all of our own domestic problems taken care of. You see? So it has nothing to do with what's right or wrong. It has nothing to do with what's right or wrong. I give you as an example of this, the perfect example is Israel-Palestine. Listen, if you cannot believe how that is being portrayed in the news versus what reality dictates. You cannot. And what's interesting to note is that when you say this, most people will take this position of moral. They'll say, well, that it's the strangest thing. For example, people will say, all my life, I have connected myself with Israel, and a lot of Americans don't use that term Zionism. They really are not familiar with what that means. They just, as part of the conservative package, have realized that Israel is an ally of ours. They will say it's the only democracy in the Middle East, that Palestinians are liars, that Yasser Arafat has never missed an opportunity to miss an opportunity. This is what Abba Eban said. And this is what they say. They repeat it. Bobby Kennedy knows every line there is. Dare I say there are other people who say, well, that's not exactly the way we believe it to be, but that's what you say. Some of these things are bumper sticker phrases. I'm not even talking about who's right, who's wrong, who's moral. I understand the position of what people believe in. I understand what Palestinians believe, and I believe what Israelis believe. I do. Not all Israelis, but many of them. And I believe what Zionists believe. I understand it. Passing no judgment. I know it's very difficult for people to realize. I don't agree or disagree. I know that's horrible for friends of mine, but like that, this is not my. It's not my thing, because it's all situational. It is situational. And what people will do is they will look the other way. I will never, ever, 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 ever say, ever again, that I cannot believe how Hitler got away with so much over such a period of time, and how people look the other way. I'll never say this. What America looks away to or ignores is just beyond anything. We are the consummate ignorers of fact and that sort of thing. Now, I'm going to have to explain something which hurts people's feelings. Again, irrespective of what I feel and I believe, Donald Trump is a most imperfect, and I'm being very kind, a most imperfect candidate. Donald Trump is, without a doubt, problematic, to say the least. Donald Trump, you must understand what people are saying about him and not what you believe to be true. Let me say this again. You have to understand what the enemy is saying, not what you believe to be true. I don't care what you believe. I know you think he's the greatest. Whether I like him, you like him, it doesn't matter. I want to get you into this again, maybe this political realism as well. You must understand something. You must grasp this idea. And one of the things that I have done, and I love when I meet people who will tell me things because they think I'm going to agree with them. And I said, and I find it funny. It's like, why would you throw this Trump stuff at me? Why would you think? Maybe because they think I'm smart or on their side. And what I do is I always try to correct people very kindly. I say, well, there's one thing that you must understand, and I want you to remember this. You can say, well, Donald Trump is a lot of things, but there's one thing he is not, is an insurrectionist, because he can't be. I gave you this example last night. One of the elements of the crime of assault is that you have to be able to commit assault at common law. It's really attempted battery. It's the threat to invoke or to instill or to impart some form of immediate harm on somebody with the apparent ability to do so. If somebody came to you in a wheelchair, who was 90 years old, senescent, in a wheelchair, and shook a kind of a gnarled hand at you like this, you probably would not be able to claim that that's an assault by virtue of the fact that he has no apparent ability to do anything to bring about any problem or whatever it is. Does that make any sense to you? So, in order for you to claim that Donald Trump is an insurrectionist, you have to ask yourself, did he ever have any ability to do so? Or to actually commit an insurrection, to rebel against this, to overthrow the country? Did he ever? And the answer to that is simply no. No. He could not have done so. He could not do it with a bunch of fat, marauding commando wannabes with their eye patches and their Valkyrie helmets and all this kind of stuff. No. Let me go back and do this again. No matter how terrible you might have thought that the Capitol riot trespass looked like, no matter how terrible this was, no matter how awful that was, you could have moved that to the Washington Monument. You could have moved that to surrounding the White House, which they, by the way, they tried to break in. Remember recently? Remember they tried to do that? You can move it to the Department of Justice. You can move it to the Smithsonian. Has the same effect. That doesn't mean anything. So Donald Trump never threatened this country and never ever acted or never could have been an insurrectionist. Does that make any sense to you? Yes, it does. So first, he might be a lot of things. He might be stupid. He might be foolish to goad these people on. And with that moronic Kimberly Guilfoyle, who was dancing, remember that too, Gloria, because she thinks she's sexy and dancing, and she knows it. She's siren-like in how she mesmerizes you with the dancing. There was a terrible visual, but Donald Trump, in no way, was a part of any kind of whatever. He's a lot of things, but there was never an insurrection, or never, and that's ridiculous. Why do I say this? Because nobody was charged with insurrection. Nobody. We have a couple of seditious conspiracy charges. If you read seditious conspiracy, it's a very broad. So right away, you've got to challenge. You've got to say, well, that's not what he did. And you can say whatever you want, but that's not what he did. He could not have done. Let me just say this again, so that you understand this. Donald Trump, if he'd have said, okay, come on, if he'd have said that day, all right, let's take over. Okay, let's do it. What are these people going to do? They make one phone call. By the way, this is after Nancy Pelosi refused to have the National Guard there and everything else at his behest. But anyway, let's assume Donald Trump says, you know what? F it. Let's go. We're going to take over the country. They would have said, all right, that's it. They would have called just the Capitol Police and just put the whole thing down. I mean, there's no. Now, if all of a sudden you said, wait a minute, this breaking news all over the country, at state capitals and police stations all over the country, masked commandos are moving in and taking over, and there is a move. The armory, the 82nd Airborne, Fort Jackson, Fort, whatever it is, Paris Island. I mean, all these military, the CENTCOM has been surrounded. Military staff has stepped down. The Department of Defense has surrendered. That would be something. Watch the Pinochet Allende case. So let me just say this again to you. You have to be very calm when you talk to people. You have to say, well, that could not have happened. None of it could have happened. Because that's what they're saying right now. They're saying that Donald Trump was responsible for some kind of whatever it is. That could not have happened. Period. End of discussion. Okay? Got to say that. If you don't say that, I don't know what to tell you. Okay? Critical. Absolutely beyond critical. Critical beyond critical. That's it. Next, and this is important, what is going to happen now as everybody is forcing Biden out? What is going to happen? Now, this is important. This is critical. And you have to remember this. You can't merely go to people that you like if you're of this moronic Fox News group. And by the way, the level of insipidity that they exhibit is beyond anything I've ever even imagined. It's beyond. It's so bad. I mean, it is so bad. They're all about whatever. Today, by the way, it's snowing like a some bitch here, and they're going to be talking about that. So that's nice. That's very good. So where do you go? How do you figure out what's going on? Do you read polls? Do you see how things are going? Do you see, not all polls, but do you take as much data in as possible? How do you do that? That's also critical for you to do. You can't merely sit back and say, well, I'm going to listen to, hey, have you seen this? I'm going to send, here's a great, whatever. I don't know why. People will send to me an opinion YouTube. And I'm saying, what is this opinion? I don't know who this. Now, changing the subject. which is also more fun. I want you to really appreciate this because you're going to miss it. There is something that is happening right now that is this really is scaring. Every day, scaring the mainstream media. Every day I read, and I have access to all kinds of media, emails, and, the business and what people are thinking and that sort of thing. And without a doubt, they are petrified as to the collapse of what they thought their world was. I mean, they are scared beyond anything you've ever seen. Seriously. They don't know what. You should see this in the world of radio. Radio, it's just speaking of which, I'll be on Mark Simone at 11:40, I believe, today. I think it's 11:40 versus 10:40. It's 11:40. So that should be good for always a good show. But in any event, so they're scared. I mean, they're really scared, and for good reasons. They're really scared. They don't know what to do. They don't know how to they don't know how to fix this. What do they do? Where do they go? How do they just don't know what to do. So the other day, lo and behold, there's this guy, Tucker Carlson, who took the world by storm. Everybody is just, how do we say this? Everybody came out of the woodwork saying this is going to be the biggest thing at 6 p.m. Remember that? This is when it drops. It was something that was so beautiful because it was a worldwide event. It was a worldwide event. And it was so incredible and so fascinating, so monumentally fascinating, that it scared these people like you can't believe. I want you to understand that. I want you to recognize what he did and why I love this man for no other reason. He is good. You don't have to love him. It doesn't matter. There were A&R people who did records and did, a lot of people didn't like Bob Dylan when he came up, but they recognized this guy is going to be a star. So that's kind of what he is. It changed everything. This on the heels of a very important piece from Elon Musk and the quote Twitter files, which by the way remember, he gave these Twitter files to Matt Taibbi and Barry Weiss. Barry Weiss is off. She's in a different. She is in a very strong Israeli support Zionism thing, which is fine. I'm just telling you the way it is. I'm not. Remember, I'm not saying right or wrong. That's her thing now. Taibbi's still over here. But both of them were basically handed this. They didn't find this information out themselves. Mainstream media, as we know it, is absolutely dead on arrival. Cannot say that enough to you. Cannot say it enough. Cannot explain it enough. Cannot put it into words enough like it is right now. Now, a couple of things which are incredible. This is important. This is a brand new piece that came out. Exclusive podcasts have lost their allure for Spotify chief Daniel Elk, and Joe Rogan's new deal is just the latest example. See, what they're doing is they're putting him elsewhere. Things are changing drastically. That's all I'm saying. Just always keep an eye on the business itself and not just what you like. Now, let me tell you something. The most important person is Joe Rogan, hands down. That's not to say he's the best. I love him. You love him. No, please stop it. But what's happening right now in 2020, Spotify, this is according to Forbes, trumpeted its exclusive signing of star podcaster Joe Rogan to a 3.5-year deal for reportedly over $200 million, calling it a major addition to its podcast lineup. Excited by the news, investors sent the streaming company shares soaring 90% within just a few days. But last week, when Spotify announced its re-signing of Rogan, Spotify sang an entirely different tune about exclusivity for what is one of its most listened to podcasts. Under the new deal, the Joe Rogan Experience will now also appear on rival streaming services. The message from Spotify: exclusivity is no longer the holy grail it once was. And the reason for the reversal? Spotify isn't Netflix, according to Spotify CEO. When Spotify debuted its podcasting business, this is again Forbes, in 2019, many people mistakenly thought it would be an all-out exclusive effort similar to that of Netflix. Well, it's not. The perception about Spotify following a similar strategy was partly driven by its exclusive deals, making blah, 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 blah. So let me just explain this to you. While we appreciate this, while we love this, understand what we are seeing right now is also evolving gradually and at the speed of light. Catch up, says Biden unfit to stand trial, yet has control of the nuclear codes. I'm a little worried about that. Well, that's obvious. That's absolutely obvious. This is, we have been saying this, catch up, and by the way, thank you, for the longest time. You are not the only one to think that. You are not the only one to say that. I have said it. Everybody has said this. How does this work? If he cannot remember, what about just other things that the president is able to handle or could be handling or should be handling or will be handling? All of those are critical pieces as well. There are certain things that are, in the business, there's something called parallel development. The other day, after our very, very successful, very fun event at the Cutting Room, I came up with there's a new date of October the 26th, right before the election. And it's a little bit too early this one was called Lotus for POTUS, Lionel of the United States, Lotus for POTUS tour, whatever it was. And this new one, I called it, Mrs. L, we're going to call it electile dysfunction. It's been said a million times. It's called parallel development. John Stewart is called electile dysfunction. So the point is, sometimes you think of things, it's called parallel. You think of puns, but by the way, that one is as old as dirt. So, but it's one of those things, catch up, that we've been thinking too. Now, what about the 25th Amendment? I don't know. Don't expect anything to happen. Nobody is saying this. They're just not pushing this. They're not pushing this. Let me just say this again. They're not pushing this. Nobody is pushing this. We're talking about this, but let's assume that, let's say he's in a full-fledged coma. And I don't care whether it's, do you seriously think that things would be any different with Kamala Harris as president versus vice president? Let me ask you again. Yes or no? If the answer is yes, press 1. If the answer is 2, or no, rather, press 2. Do you think anything would be different now if Kamala Harris were president? Yes or no? Very simple question. Let's say he steps down, Kamala Harris comes in. Will anything be different now? Anything? Policy, threat levels, bills? Would anything be different? Anything at all? Could be worse, but in terms of policies, would anything be different? Absolutely not. Joe Biden is not running anything. Kamala Harris is not running anything. They are auto pens. They are handed the particular plans, the particular protocols. That is it. They are it. Do you grasp that? Yes, you do. Do you grasp it? Yes. One puppet for another. Not a puppet. Not even a puppet, just an auto pen. They're just there. They're kind of like animatronics. They're play setters. So this idea that, well, who wants Kamala Harris? Doesn't matter. I always want somebody who is awake. I will take Mayor de Blasio over. I will take Mayor de Blasio over Eric Adams. Our mayor now just loves to put a hat on. It says mayor. He just loves to pretend he's the mayor. He loves uniforms and stylish and going up. He doesn't understand what's going on. Mayor de Blasio, who is probably as close to a full-fledged commie as you're ever going to get, at least was smart. I'll take a smart person any day. A smart person I can deal with. I can understand their ideology. Period. I would take Hillary Clinton over Joe Biden any day. I want somebody who knows what they're doing. I want somebody who I can at least, I know who it is. You're the enemy. That's all. Now, when you tell this to people, they always get upset because they hate. You see, in our political world, we hate people. We hate people so much. Hate them with a passion for reasons I will never know. I don't hate anybody in politics. None. I don't hate anyone in politics. Period. I don't hate anyone. None. Hate's not my thing. It's just not my thing. I'm not. I think sometimes. I think by virtue of our world of kind of the how do I say this? I think it's the world of just of social media and Karens and all that. I think people just really respond very, very, very negatively for reasons that I just don't understand. I really don't. I don't get it. I've never, ever felt this sense of, I don't know, enmity. I don't love Donald Trump. I don't, oh my God. No, 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 no. Remember, these people work for me. When you go to a restaurant, I like this restaurant. I don't love it. I like what they do. Once the food, I don't love the waiter. I don't love the cook. I don't know. No, this is what they're supposed to do. Once it loses its whatever, I ain't a part of it. You dig what I'm saying? I ain't a part of it. Now, let me stop right now for explaining something to you. I want you to listen very carefully. There's a brand new deal right now from our good friends at preparewithlionel.com. You can save $60. This is a great intro deal. You can save $60 off a 4-week emergency food supply kit. This is the one you got to get. It's available right now. The other deal's gone. I told you it's a week. This was a one-time shop, but right now, for a 4-week emergency food kit, you save $60, 2,000 calories a day, 16 varieties of food, up to a 25-year shelf life, breakfast, lunches, dinner, snacks, a whole bit, packed into two rugged buckets with a water resistant, the whole bit, weighs 38 pounds total, free shipping and handling, very simple. Buy right now today, save $60. This is the entry level. This is the one you go to where you can say, okay, let me just do this. He's right. I don't want, okay, all right, I'll do it. This is the one. Go right now to preparewithlionel.com, preparewithlionel.com. And by the way, you're going to love this one. In addition, I love the Alexa Pure Pro Water Filtration System. This is serious. Powered by gravity, works anywhere, reduces over 200 contaminants commonly found in drinking water, targets bacteria, chlorine, fluoride, the whole bit. This is what you're going to need big time. Big time. So that's it. Preparewithlionel.com. 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 I think it makes sense to you. It's one of those things where it's like either you get it or you don't, and I think you get it, and you should get it. All right? Okay. By the way, I think I told you yesterday, Mrs. Ellen and I had our eyes. We go to a wonderful doctor. I love this guy. An hour and a half for both of us. The most thorough, old fashioned. He was a professor and he's older and that's why I don't know how old he is, but he must be in his 70s. Might be close to 80. I don't know. I never really asked him. But we had these, oh my God, they dilated our eyes. Not dilate, they dilated. And I swear to God, we couldn't even it was like we had the lights off all day. It's like, what the hell's going on? I felt like one of these miners or these Chilean miners were walking around with it. It was brutal. How's the snow now? It is pouring now today. I mean, the snow is just coming down. Coming down. And from somebody who was raised in Florida, we never had snow. I used to look and say, wow. Wow. And it's flaky and snowflake. It's going to be a north. And they why? Because local news in particular is just dying, absolutely dying for anything to tell you. Now, let's talk about some other news, which I think is just terrific because you have to know what's going on in the world other than the obvious. Okay. Okay. Look at this one. Gaunt New Zealand hostage pilot appears in proof of life video 1 year after he was seized by bow and arrow wielding captors in remote Papua as he addresses his wife and young son. Now, I wish him the best. I don't know what he was doing there, and I'm sure I'll get the chance to maybe get into it and pay a close attention. Senate passes $95 billion Ukraine and Israel aid bill without border provisions after all-night session. Speaker Mike Johnson warns insufficient package with $14 billion for Israel may not pass the House. Let this stop. Okay? Let this be stopped. We need this now. Okay? Look at this story. Going vegan improves the sex lives of men and treats erectile dysfunction, according to a study. Tomorrow, that study will be reversed by saying eating meat, and then don't even remember the worst arguments I ever got into was over diet because people hold that more than you can imagine. Prince Harry did not want to be in the same room as Queen Camilla when he spoke to the king about cancer diagnosis. And we still don't know what exactly he has. You understand this? This is horrible. Here we go. Look at this. This is so shameful. Teenage girls use dark makeup to blackface and make monkey noises in Boston Sephora store. Now, I don't know what the story behind this. 3 girls. By the way, Sephora on TikTok and the like, you can hear about these Sephora theft rings and how they go in, whatever. Now, what are you supposed to do with someone who does that? Aside from the fact that they might be charged with trespass, they might be charged with some kind of criminal mischief, they might be charged with theft of services, theft, whatever it is. But what are you supposed to do about that? Nothing. It is not against the law to be a racist. It's not against the law to be a fool, to say stupid and terrible things. It's not against the law, nor should it ever be. Black people can wear whiteface. White people can wear blackface. Whatever it is. It's crude. It's stupid. I find it boorish, rude, completely unacceptable. But so what? So what? Sorry to tell you this. This gets even better. Bumbling Biden strikes again. Moment lost puppy president went on a walkabout after introducing King of Jordan to the podium. He's walking around. He's confused. He's absolutely just falling apart. I've got 14 kids dying every week in my city. Kanye West explodes in rage about crime in his hometown, Chicago, after he's asked for his thoughts on the Palestinians. Interesting. Ready for this? 1 in 10 vacation rentals is fitted with hidden spy cameras, as experts reveal how to spot the devices inside chargers, smoke alarms, and TV soundbars. Very good stuff. And by the way, how people do that bed and breakfast, not bed and breakfast, Airbnb, you can have that. Not that a hotel is going to be any better, but whatever it's worth. He's back. Jon Stewart rips. He rips. Ooh. Straight into President Biden on his return to Daily Show over DOJ report that called him elderly with poor memory. No, it's not that he's elderly. It's that he is senescent. And Jon Stewart is trying so desperately to get back. And the problem is that most people, including young folks, don't know who he is because Jon Stewart is a goddamn fool who decided to leave TV right before the Trump presidency. Stupid. What did he do? He went to what, a petting zoo or something in Jersey or some kind of. He and his wife on a little farm. So Numbnuts decides, and now he's been trying to get back. Everybody else that he helped has been doing great work, except for him, because he's an idiot. He really is an idiot. And he says stuff other people write. And by the way, the bigger idiot of them all is Bill Maher, who basically says, listen, it's a free country. You can say, I don't know where comedy, folks, this is not where I go for news, depending upon the analysis. What do you want to talk about? Comedy? Have you seen this guy Rappaport? This new, I mean, this guy, this loudmouth. Look, again, it's a free country. You can do whatever you want. But if you're going to Jon Stewart to help you understand something, I don't know what to tell you. It's like the old days. Sometimes parents would grind up. Didn't Jerry Seinfeld's wife pretend to say, have books on how to hide vegetables, how to grind up, asparagus and put them in, when other people have done it for whatever. So the allegation was. Well, listen, again, it's a free country. And I guess, Daily Mail will print anything. Who will replace fabulous George Santos? I love the Daily Mail British take on it. New York voters head to the polls today to decide of all the days of this snowy day, between Democratic Tom Suozzi and Republican Mazie Phillip in a special election. I have not seen one thing. Have you seen either of them, honey? How is Maisie? I haven't.
Well, her husband's from Ukraine.
Her husband's from Ukraine. Okay.
And as usual, she flipped on a lot of subjects now that she's in the running.
Okay.
They're kind of running neck and neck. She's a little behind him.
Oh, there you go.
But, he's a Democrat, so they're looking to flip that Republican seat.
Yeah, well, here go in New York. Fears that grow. New York City could be targeted by migrant super gang as FBI agent warns Venezuelan Tren de Aragua thugs behind moped phone thefts may join forces with infamous MS-13. Let me tell you what you got in New York. It's very simple. First, I don't know, boy, you are, but in New York, we have people, cars with paper license tags everywhere. They're just on the side of the road, paper. See them on the street, see them in Jersey, see them everywhere. No license, no, just paper. Rumor has it they're stolen. I don't know. Nobody's ever pulled over. We don't hear anything about this. Then we see people pulled over in the side of the street in coveted parking spaces doing repair and sometimes living in a car or doing, tire service. There are places in New York, used to be in the West Side and somewhere in the Bronx, where they have these they're very good. You drive up and they basically will put in new tires and right there on the side of the road. We're not talking about that. Everywhere we are besieged by these mosquito-like mopeds and scooters, and overnight they're just here. And delivery everywhere. Delivery, we got the Amazon. A lot of people working, a lot of deliveries. If you come to New York, first, the thing you've got to worry about more than anything else is being hit by one of these marauding either bikes, scooters, these e-bikes. E-bike scooter, I mean, they fly by. So you step in the corner, you look, and they have a walking lane, they got a running lane. They come out of nowhere. And that's the thing you really got to be alert to. Rafael Legonde, U.S. Marine, says, Sir, do you know that King Charles is the first monarch in the history of mankind with an advanced degree, smartest king ever? Teddy Roosevelt, most educated POTUS in the history of mankind also. I did not know that. I'm going to look into that. Thank you. I did not know that. You see, I love when somebody tells us. Yesterday we were talking to our doctor about a sty, like what a sty is. And he was talking about at least 10 different glands are part of the lid. It was fascinating. I had no earthly idea whatsoever about the lid. Next, I am beyond disgusted. I do not care. Regarding Kels and Taylor Swift. God bless them. But I think one of these days, let's see when that arrangement goes. Oh, she'll be the halftime entertainment for next year. Look at this one. How overprotective Katie Holmes saved her daughter from Scientology. Surrey, who's 17. Come on down to the Surrey down. Remember that Laura Nero? Surrey. Nobody knows why she said Surrey. Anyway, this is Suri. Blossoms into a smart and independent teen after actress broke free of controversial religion, while Tom Cruise has no part in her life, so they say. Tom Cruise, by the way, honey, has his new Russian socialite. Yeah. Okay. Whatever. And by the way, let me ask you something. Scientologists have never bothered me. Why is it a cult? That any Scientologists ever bother you? Anybody ever come to your house on weekends and say, hey, do you know where you're going? I had to give you a magazine. Anybody ever bother you? Has any religion ever really bothered you? No. Have they ever stopped? No. Did they ever? No. 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 I'm very leery of people who get down on Scientology because, oh, that's a cult. Excuse me? You want to talk about what is a cult? Don't go there with that. It's a free country. Now, what happens with, I don't know anything about it. Now, Nexium and these other, those people you got to watch out for. Certain kind of cults. But that word cult is a very, very scary term. And I don't know what that necessarily means. I never knew Katy Perry was American Idol. I have no idea about that. I don't watch that. Any of this. How about this? Revealed mom, 38, found dead next to a bloody iron in a $110 per night New York City hotel. She was strangled, beaten to death, and left with horrific injuries, according to an autopsy. Kanye West, honey, displays worrying growth on his top lip after undergoing experimental $850,000 dental surgery to implant titanium teeth. Do you believe that? I don't believe that. I don't believe any of this stuff. None of this. Man, 35 is shot dead and 5 people are injured in bloody shooting on New York City subway at rush hour. That's why it is critical for everybody to be able to absolutely carry a weapon on them at all times. And I know, by the way, this makes no sense to you, and I know no one cares about this. I know no one in the world cares about this in the least. This is one of the most manufactured, probably paid for, I don't know, but Amy Robach, remember this? She was on Good Morning America with her man, TJ Holmes. She shows off a new tattoo. This is one of those stories that is so great because nobody cares. Nobody. I mean, nobody. And she and he are trying desperately to get back into some kind of whatever, and nobody cares. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been asking where he is. I'll tell you where he is. His name is Mower Man, and here he is. He writes, a morning cameo appearance. Needed a lift of Lionel this morning. Sidebar, anyone who thinks prepping is nonsense is a fool. My company manufactures emergency shelters and business is robust. Prepare with Lionel is not BS. Absolutely. Thank you, Moorman. I'd like to hear more about your emergency shelters. I'd like to hear more of that. Send me some information. Lionel at lionelmedia.com. I'd like to hear more about that. Makes sense to me. The whole notion of what, I don't know, preparation. I don't know about you right now, but we just got a plain old snow. And we've got, could you last a week without stores closed? No. A week? Not just eating potato chips, but a week with kids? No. You can't do it. Yes, we can. No, you can't. What if it goes further? People always argue with that. No, I've got plenty of food. No, you don't. You got stuff. That's different. It's called stuff. And by the way, it's a great day today? Today is a great day to be inside, be in bed. Oh, I know. Watching some trash TV or whatever it is, or any day for that matter. And when you have had a tough day, and when you live and you've worked so hard, and you want to come home and luxuriate, you know what the best thing you can do is? You know it. Well, it is time yet again, my friends, to hail and salute our great friends at mypillow.com. And if you use promo code Lionel, you'll get a free gift. No purchase necessary. And yes, I know, a free gift. It's a tautology, so sue me. But first, please listen. What are we talking about here? Down comforters, flannel sheets, Giza Dream bed sheets, My Pillow 2.0 sheets, slippers, percales, towels, quilts, bedspreads, mattresses, mattress covers, mattress toppers, linens, kitchen towels, bathrobes, name it. Literally name it. Items to help you luxuriate and relax. And they're monster sellers. Slippers. My slippers. That's right. Slip-ons, moccasins. Think about it. What do they do at My Pillow? They make things real soft and plush and comfy. How perfect. Now here's the link. MyPillow.com, promo code Lionel, or MyPillow.com /Solidus or Virgil /Lionel, or call 800-645-4965. And watch how fast Mike answers the phone. MyPillow.com, promo code Lionel, simply and absolutely the best. Here's some very interesting news that I think is most interesting and most timely. Our appliances suck. That's right. Our appliances don't work. Our thing. There was an article by from the Epoch Times, Jeffrey Tucker, says that things don't work anymore. Washing machines, refrigerators, dishwashers, garbage disposals, clothes dryers, hot water heaters, which should be a cold water heater, showers, freezers. They don't work because of new energy restrictions. He says, quote, don't blame the manufacturer, even if they don't like to talk about it. There is one reason: it's governmental regulations on energy use. They keep getting tighter and tighter year by year. We are supposed to use less energy and water, and this means systematically degrading the machine while raising their price. And also, my friends, I'm telling you, when we have the Internet of Everything and you eventually have smart and green grids, you're going to rue that day because the government is going to either turn down your heater or turn up your air conditioning or whatever it is, because you're going to be basically delivering and losing all control. Why is that? Because of the...
They said it breaks down into these microplastics and pollutes our
Yes, they want to ban pods.
They don't want you to have clean clothes.
They don't want yes, they don't they want
They want you to use deodorant for 72 hours so you don't shower.
yes. Have you seen this commercial? There's this commercial I know.
There's more.
What's this called? Lemmy or Toomey?
There's one.
What's it called?
Called,
Do me, let me, whatever. Have you heard these commercials that say for your pits, back crack, and sack, uh, you don't need to shower.
the Dove has one. I saw it yesterday for the first time.
You put it
It's called Lumi.
Lumi. Have you heard about these? They don't want you to shower. They want you to be or to bathe. They want you to be able to use this deodorant for 3-4 days. They remember years ago during when we were kids, there was a Mitchum commercial. This guy's on a bed. He says, "I didn't use my antiperspirant tomorrow, and I may today, and I may not tomorrow." That was like, oh my god, they're getting you away from bathing. They're talking about you basically lathering your ass with this stuff so that you don't your funk doesn't make people tear. This is what we're hearing. And there's this commercial I do when I'm on Simone's show. It's for, "Hi, I'm Dr. So and so." Like a doctor. You don't need to bathe for your feet, your groin, your perianal area, inguinal funk and axis. Oh my God. It's like, what about bathing? Oh, no, no, no. I can't. Huh? I can't live without bathing. I can't. I'm a shower guy. I can't bathe. Can't do it. You ever ask people about that? Can't do it. Can't do it. I go crazy. I lose my mind. Showers for me. Another thing too I can't do? Massage. Any kind of, can I tell you, hey, no, that's okay. That's all right. Except for a head. Let me be more specific. When you get your hair cut, and when they rub your head, that I could pay for. That you can do. But the back and all, no. Put your head in that smelly hole with it. No, 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 no. You understand this? I have to. That's why I think the worst part about, I think one of the greatest indicators or perhaps contributors to mental illness are people who are unable just to bathe. Because I'm serious. It's one of those things that's terrible. All right, dear friends, thank you so much. You're so kind. Mower Man, God bless you. Send me information on your company. Send me some. I'm curious as to what you do. Rafael Legonde, United States Marine Corps, thank you so much. And Catch Up, thank you as well. Don't forget to follow Mrs. L at Lynn's Warriors on YouTube. Did you see the video with us? Did you see this one? Probably didn't. You probably didn't. You probably didn't even see it. We did one together that was terrific. And it's the talk of the industry. Not the podcasting industry, but small engine repair. It was wonderful. Let me give you this right here. Here is, and share it. It's about, it mentions the Super Bowl, but it's what parents and people should be aware of all the time. Also follow her on Twitter at Lynn's Warriors. Lynn's _ Warriors. All right, friends, we'll see you at I think 7 p.m. tonight. I think. We were supposed to do something, but I don't know. We could. I don't know. I'm not sure. So always subscribe. Always hit that little bell. We might not do it. It's hard to say. Depends on this event. We don't know. In any event, have a great and a glorious day. Thank you so much for watching, my friends. And don't forget, the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya. Da, da.